Okay, so in this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to put together our Frank treat bag. And we're going to begin, as we did in previous videos, with the basic structure here. Okay, and I'm going to take and begin by folding at the score marks, just to get this nice and trained and ready. It's actually very simple. Assembly goes pretty quick. And these are by far the cutest treat bags I've seen for Halloween. So we're going to take these two pieces and join them together by putting glue on this tab here, and then just making sure that we get a little bit of glue out to the edge. Okay, make sure you get it all the way out to the edge. And I'm going to connect these two pieces here, like so. There we go. Once we've got it somewhat aligned, we can go ahead and grab it and bend it and fold it and kind of scooch it a little bit more if we need to make sure that it's perfectly aligned. Okay, so before we close him up, you can actually go ahead and glue the little panels on him. Okay, this is his face here, the one with the round top there. And first thing you can do is, these are the little side panels here. Okay, these get glued right here. Just make sure that you've got this hole perfectly lined up. Okay, this little section here is where his little bolts go. And we actually used a little rhinestone for his bolts. If you don't have rhinestones, you can just kind of leave it alone. That little hole there looks like his bolt. I accidentally put glue on that slit. You want to make sure you don't obscure that slit, and just get this glued into place. Just make sure you follow that hole and that you've got it nice and aligned. Okay, so you're going to repeat that process on the other side here. I don't need to do that since it's redundant, but yours will have that piece. Okay, there's a back panel here. Okay, and when you put that on, it only goes on one way. So rotate it before you apply glue and just make sure that you've got it set right. Okay, and that looks the correct way to me. So get that glued on there. And then we can go ahead and talk about and put together his face. I've got some spider web floating here. By the way, there are two rectangular pieces like this and then another black one. These are for the bottom, so you can just put that off to the side for a second. And let's talk about the construction of Frank's face. Okay, this panel is going to get glued on here. Just make sure that you've got it just within the little score marks. Okay, so get that glued on like so. And then we can go ahead and talk about the rest of the piecings here. There are score lines on his face here that help you with the alignment of all of these pieces. Okay, so like this piece, for example, has little score marks there, and I have it upside down, that's why. There and there. Okay, so that's where that piece goes. We've got the blue pieces that we cut out in blue are for his hair, and of course, again, there are little score marks there to help guide you, but they're going to go like so. Just make sure that when you're gluing this, that you are just getting it right up on the little score marks there. Okay, so they should basically be covering up the score marks. Okay, so that's where that goes. And then there's one more little piece that goes here like that. And then we can go ahead and put together his eyeballs. And then there's one little piece for his nose that goes right here. And let's put together his eyeballs. It's very simple. It's 3 layers. And it looks like I have all but one piece here. Let's see if I lost, there he is. Okay, so let's put together his eyeballs. You're going to start with the white. Okay, and there's 2 One's a little bit different. One where his eyeballs are kind of pointing down, one where it's kind of in the middle. So just make sure you grab the right ones, and you're going to piece it together like so. So we're going to take his eyeball here, and this one here, once you have it glued down, mine is not, you're just going to get that glued right there, like so. And then you can take his other eyeball, which you will have glued down, and put that one into position as well. Okay, so there's his eyeballs. And at this point, all that's really left to do is close him up. So his face has been constructed. That's how yours is going to look. Okay, so what we can go ahead and do is close him up. And I'm going to go ahead and just fold this over like so and get this piece ready. So I'm going to put glue on this tab here. Okay, just make sure that, again, you get some glue out near that score mark, but not too much to where when you push down it leaks out all over the place. I think I did a good job there. And I'm just going to close that up, making sure that it's nice and aligned. There we go. Okay. Okay, so that is in place. And at this point, what we can go ahead and do is grab one of these rectangular pieces and put glue on just one of these tabs. I'm going to start with just one so that I can set the tone for the rest of these. And do your best to get this first one nice and aligned. Okay, give it a second to grip. And then we can flip it over and push down from the other side. And it kind of came away, but that's fine. Okay, and then you can go ahead and put glue on the rest of these tabs. And again, just kind of making sure I get a nice line of glue up to the score mark there. Okay, there we go. And we're going to close him up. Just closing it up like so. And while you're holding it, you may need to kind of scooch things around and jiggle things around just to make sure that you've got it nice and centered. And then you can go ahead and pop it down like that and push from the inside. Okay, and then this piece here is going to go right on the bottom just to reinforce it. And we also have another black piece. And what we're going to do is we're going to put glue in here on the bottom. You can get a good amount of glue down there and just pop the liner inside to reinforce the interior of it even more, because this thing needs to be nice and sturdy when we put our candy in there. So that's the basic structure of the box. Now we can go ahead and just put together our ears. We have two ears, obviously, and you're going to glue this piece onto this piece using the score mark as a guide, which hopefully you can see there. Just make sure that you cover up that score mark. So there's your ear. And once you've got that glued on, again, what you're going to do, let me grab the other one actually. You're going to slide it through the slit. Okay, so let's slide it through the slit. Get it in there real good. And then on the inside, you can see that little tab in there. You can just glue the tab to either side. It doesn't matter which side you glue it to. And you just pop some glue in there and just glue it to the side. So you can see my glue in there. I'm just going to push and hold it. It's really hard to get light in there. It's a big hole. There we go. I'm just pushing that down and holding it, and then when you're done, you can take and bend that ear out. So there's his ear, okay? So that is Frank, and then all that's left is his handle, which we put on with a brad. So it's 4 pieces for the handle, and what you want to do before you do anything is take the handle, grab it by both ends, and run it along the edge of your desk to kind of give it a natural curve, okay? Because this thing is going to be curved when we attach it with our brads, and when we try to glue these 2 layers together, it's very helpful for them to already have like a natural curvature so that they stick together. Okay, so now one of these pieces has some score marks on it, as you can see there, and that is the point to where you glue the other piece. So you don't want to get any glue on this side of the score line. You want to just go ahead and put glue on this, like so, and get your other piece right up to that score mark, and just glue that down. And just push and hold that until it's nice and dry. Okay, and you do want to get glue up to that score mark, but not beyond it. Okay. So we'll do that one more time with this piece here. Get glue right up to that score mark, but not beyond it. Get glue all through the middle here, and then I'm going to go ahead and put glue on the little scallops. There we go. And again, with this piece here, again, you can as long as you don't go beyond that score mark, you can then use your finger to run inside these little valleys to make sure that you've got everything nice and properly aligned. Okay, so give that a second to hold, and then we're just going to take and glue these 2 pieces together. Okay, so just make sure that you've got it nice and centered so it looks nice. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put glue all over this here. Okay. Just like that. And what I would do is just kind of start by making sure that you've got the hole lined up there, and then it's nice and centered. Okay. And then go to the other end and just make sure that it's centered. And then what I did was I just kind of, almost like you're trying to get an air bubble out of some vinyl, just start on one end and just push over until you've got it down on the other end. And the holes don't need to perfectly align because your brad is nowhere near the diameter of that hole, but it's helpful if you get it perfect, and if not, it's totally fine. So that's what your little handle should look like. And you may need to train this one more time by just kind of rubbing it or running it along the edge of your table to give it that natural curvature that it needs. Okay, so that is roughly what your handle should look like. And then you're just going to connect it using a little brad here, and you're all done with your cute little Frank treat bag. And again, we used little rhinestones there for his little bolts, but again, since we have it cut out there, you don't have to do that. It's totally optional. Stay on top of all things Dreaming Tree and engage with us today. Get the latest news and enter in our giveaways on Facebook. Get inspired by following us on Pinterest. Be the first to see our new product launches on Instagram. Do you prefer Twitter? Yep, we're there too. Watch our beautiful product trailers and assembly tutorials on YouTube. For more information, visit www.3dsvg.com. Live, craft, love, and dream.